Hello everybody and welcome back to another ForgeCraft Modpack with me, TechnoJock. No, I'm not in some sort of bizarre matrix-like void. I am right next to my base. So why is it all white? If you recall, at the end of last episode I showed you the excitement that was going to be our new tech building. And here it is in all of its glory. I'd already laid out a little bit of it previously, and it had sat there doing nothing for a while, and then I decided to do something slightly different. So I think it looks pretty awesome. So, yeah, let's have a look and see what we've got inside. As you can see, we've already filled it with a little bit of stuff. And I did this off camera just because it was going to take quite a while and there was a fair iterative process of things going on. So let's take a look and see what we've got. Obviously, it's applied energistics. So what have we got over here? We've got our inscribers. We had one inscriber set up previously, but we've got this one done now. So we've got all five, so we've got one for each of the various presses that you get, and then we've got one for the actual chips themselves, powered from a tesseract below with this conduit. The machine inventory manager connects up the back with camouflage that's made to look like the canvas wall, so that's great, it looks fantastic, and so far it's set up with the silicon, gold, diamond and certus to make the various bits of the chips, but I have not as yet made it make the chips, so it's done this stuff so far. That's all cool, and it is connected up down here. Over here we have something that you have probably seen something like this previously with the crystal growth accelerators here. And normally you'll see them set up where there's 4 round a puddle. You may have seen it with 5 where the bottom of the puddle is the 5th crystal growth accelerator, but I doubt you'll have seen very many set up with 6. Because how do you get your crystals in and out? Well, I don't think it's actually possible to do without both extra utilities and Steve's factory manager. The getting them out is pretty easy with a transfer node with 2 world interaction upgrades, so it's got the reach to be able to get down into the puddle, and a filter that's set just to pull out the pure versions of the crystal. Down below here is, facing straight up into the puddle below this crystal growth accelerator, a Steve's Factory Manager block gate. Now, it tries to push things out, or it can pull things in and it tries to push things out. And because this block is in the way, then it would try and push it out to the next available block within a reasonable range. It seems to be within a sort of a 3 by 3 roundabout it. However, all of these blocks are filled with cables and pipes and whatnot, as you can see, so it goes for the next one up, which is the puddle. Now, it doesn't work in an infinite range. I think it will only go as far as 2 blocks in, perhaps 3, but I don't know. But the long and the short of it is, it pushes the seeds that we require into the puddle. So if we have a look back down here, we can get just along and have a look and see. There's our machine inventory manager, very easy, takes the seeds out of the interface here. Any seeds that go in go out of the interface and into the block gate, and then also what's it doing there? That's actually some testing that I did earlier on, and it's completely useless, so let's get rid of that just now. So that's all it's doing, is taking the seeds from the interface and putting them through the block gate to appear up into the puddle. Very easy. Excellent. And then of course our node takes it and puts it back down and into the interface there. Got these set up around it as well just to block things off. We don't have suitable covers that are going to cover up that hole into the ground, so I thought I'll do something different and make it look kinda in keeping with the outside of the building in terms of the stark white clean lines and blending into the chaotic out of placeness, because it's just odd. It sat there, so I think that works quite nicely. Similarly here with the cables here, nice raw cables, and then we've got the nice sleek lines here, so the juxtaposition of clean lines and chaos works quite nicely. And we've got some dense cable sneaking over to there from here, and we have got one ME controller so far. We've got room to expand on this as well, and yeah, I don't have the thing to cover up this, I'll get that in a second. So we've got room to expand on this, and I think it looks pretty cool. So I'm going to put my crafting terminal on that bit. So this bit over here will be for pneumatic craft later on, and this bit over here for our applied energistics. I think this wall will be like a big giant wall of storage. I think that'll be pretty cool. So, other things we've got going on. I've changed things a little bit. I kind of did some. I think when we had the relays up here, they weren't reaching down here because these act as a full block, and I think we're blocking the little particles of centiV from getting through. So I think like this, it'll be okay. We'll see what happens. This one certainly seems to get Terra from the energized node upstairs, from the giant node. So things are working quite quickly. I may need to do something about getting some invisible blocks to come down a bit to block this from connecting up to that relay, because it does that sometimes and it just doesn't look very nice. I mean, functionally it's perfectly okay, but aesthetically it's not. So we shall do something about that. Now, we are at the point where I was wanting to get the last bits of that Steve's Factory Manager setup over here done, so we could make a couple of chips. So we need to make our last output here into a group, and if we call this one chips, I think would be sensible. And if we go into the content of it, we'll put a group node here, and we'll call this one chips as well. So if we happen to find ourselves in here, it looks fairly obvious what it'll be, and we can connect it up there. So we've got our flow going in. So what do we want this to do? I think we'll probably want some sort of split, or not maybe. Certainly we will be wanting to get things from the ME interface. Now those things are going to be logic circuits, if I just put printed, actually, I think it'll, yeah, printed logic circuits, printed engineering circuits, and printed calculation circuits, and printed silicon we'll want. Now we're going to only want one of each of these. Not going to go too much into Steve's Factory Manager, this is going to be very quick, doesn't take very long to sort this out, and we'll want redstone. Redstone dust. Come on, where's just the redstone? Really? It's just redstone though, it's not actually redstone dust, so there. And we'll want one of that as well. Now, we want to put that into these inventories. Now, those are all fine. However, we need to put the printed circuit stuff into the top, don't we? So that's in the upside, okay? So that's just the printed circuit stuff. That, and that. Again, we'll specify amount. Again, not strictly necessary to do this because it doesn't stack in there anyway, but we'll do that, and that's going to be the printed circuits like that. In fact, it's not even all of those inventories, it's just the top one. So let's see what it's going to do. When we come out of here, it should, in fact it's not the top one, it's the bottom one. It's the bottom inventory that's going to, there we go. So it's taken one of the logic circuits out of there and put it into the bottom one. That's cool, like that. Ow. Okay, that's not acceptable. come waltzing into my factory, starting all this, and your mate out here. Come on, bring it. Oh, right, gonna have to do something about that. Yep. Honestly. Okay. Sorry about that. So the printed circuit works fine. Then we're going to want the redstone to go into it as well. Now that goes in from the east side, I think. Again, the closest one, and it's just the redstone that we want. Redstone. I had to scroll through a fair bit of this to get to it. There. I think that should do it. Let's just connect it up and check. Yep, that'll work. So let's call this redstone. And our last one is for the silicon at the bottom as well. So again, bottom one, target is going to be the downside of it, and we want printed silicon. We'll specify 1, although again not really necessary. That should do that. Silicon. Now I think the setup I've got already will actually take these out. Yes, and it should put it in here. Excellent. So that's going to go, and it's going to take these ones out of here. Well, it's made 2 because it doesn't have any redstone. So let's go get some redstone and maybe have a wee snooze to get rid of some of the monsters. Like this. So I'm going to get rid of that, and I'm going to get rid of, what else? That, and that. Yeah. So some redstone. If I make sure I've got a good amount of it. Let's have a snooze through the night, and we should be pretty good. Now obviously I don't have any actual storage set up over in the new building as yet. That will come shortly. And this will be making the logic circuits. It should do them in the order in which they were put in the thing, so it will do it in the logic, engineering, and then the calculation, I think should be the order they go in. So how are we doing? That's doing not too bad. Now we were wanting to make an ME crafting terminal. Whilst it does that, we need a logic circuit. Is that all we need? Is a logic circuit. Okay, let's leave that running. It seems to be okay. We'll come back to it and make sure it was okay in a second. Still picking up bits of dead monster, which is great. Okay, and I need a crafting table, so wood 4 to make a crafting table, and we should be golden, I think. So if we've got that and that, no, it's that and that and that and that makes our ME terminal now. Yep, let's learn that. And let's eat something because I'm starving. Well, not starving, but I'm pretty hungry. There we go. And get rid of that. And terminal. Yep. So the crafting one is a calculation processor and that crafting table. Okay. Well, let's see if we've got any calculation processors as yet. We do not as yet. What's it doing? It has run out of silicon. Okay. Now, I'll grab some. I can actually get silicon from printed silicon from here, but I'm not going to. I'm going to deliberately get some of this stuff, and I'm going to deliberately get 20 of it as well, because we'll just get the system to make it over here. And if we go like that, it's going to do that. It's going to use that to make that. It'll go back into here, but it will also grab it and put it into there for us. So, one engineering processor, and it's a calculation processor, so we need to wait for it a little bit to do that just now. Now, out here, I do think I need to shift this tree farm over there, because I think this is a little bit close. I'm going to want to come out and not be straight into some trees, and I won't want to have to fly through here running the gauntlet of a tree growing into my face whilst I'm doing it. So I'm going to shift that over. I'm going to resize this, get rid of the MFR tree farm, and move the Ender one over in a little while. How are we doing? Excellent, we've got 2 more to do after the one that I'll be doing at the moment. Yep. Perfect. That's going great. That's doing those ones. We'll get some acceleration cards in there at some point. So the engineering circuit, that'll be the last one, and it'll be the calculation circuit next, and we are good to go. There we go, it's made one. I shall go and take that out of there and go and make our crafting terminal. So next up after this we need to make some storage. So that with that and that makes our, there we go, perfect. That's really loud. So on like that, great, loving that. And I think, yeah, one more thing I want to add on to that for aesthetics, because I think it'll look pretty cool. We can't make covers with the canvas ones. They don't make into Forge microblocks, and they don't play well nice with the ME anchors to be able to make. Oh, I've already got some of these. Yeah, they don't play nice to make the conduit facades and things like that. But in a pinch, what we can use is this. Oh, I already had. Doesn't matter, we're going to use it anyway. The blocks of quartz that have been dyed white, so they make them look a little bit extra white. And whilst you'll see over here I've got a painted thing, and you can see it's not quite right, but in small out of the way areas in the corner there, when it's already got the shadow from the glass, it looks pretty good. And over here when it's not actually against the floor, again it looks pretty good. So I'm liking that. That looks pretty good. And we need to get some storage on the go. Incidentally, this is mana glass, in case you were wondering how it looks tinted but not, you know, how it looks like it looks. It's because it's mana glass. So it looks pretty cool, liking that. Okay, we want to make ourselves storage, so we need an ME drive bay, isn't it? ME drive. So we need 2 engineering processors, some glass cable, and some iron. Well, that's going to be easy because we've already got it making these things. Let's take all this out, and let's go and make some drives. We only need to really make one at the moment, but no exchange value. Oh well. We need some flux cable. We need 2 of them, and we need some iron. 1, 2, 3, and 4 for that. Let us make one ME drive. And we'll put that up against the back wall, and that'll be fine. Now, what else do we require? We need the drives to actually go in it. So, storage cells, aren't they? Yeah, that's fluid storage. Don't want fluid storage, we want normal storage. 256. Alright, that's extra cells. So it goes 1K, 2K, 16, 64, then 256. Where's the 128 then? Okay. And then, wow, it goes up to 16 meg storage. That'd be huge. There's no necessity for that, I don't think. So, let me go and make some storage cells, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes, I think.